TCAT Oneida-Huntsville offers programs in nearly 24 areas of study, like machine tool.
Machine tool is the art of taking metal and taking cutting tools and turning it into shapes for all industries, everywhere from your basic home shop that does repair work on anything like equipment repairs, all the way to the medical field where they make prosthetics, hip replacements, knee replacements, screws for broken bones, the medical instruments that surgeons use, and everything in between. So there's nothing that's man-made that's not affected by machinists somehow. So whether it be the making of a cabinet, a machinist probably made the dies that punched the cabinet pieces out before they were bent into shape. Automotive parts, aerospace, there's parts on the airplane, space station, so you name it. Anything that you can physically touch that's man-made was affected by machinists somehow. So in this course, it's a 16-month course, and from the beginning we work with our hands. We start out with the basics, just regular hand drills, hand tools, hand measuring tools, scales, and in that stage, we work within 30 seconds of an inch or so, and then the student can then progress into the manual machines to where it's all controlled, of course, by hand, like it states, manual, and we get to working within tolerances of 3 to 5 thousandths. So to put that in perspective, a piece of notebook paper is roughly 4 thousandths thick. So after they go through the lathe or mill, they'll start one of those. So the lathe is a machine that takes the material and rotates the material against a cutting tool to remove the material. And the milling machine is a machine that takes the material in a stationary vise and rotates the tool against the material to remove it. So after they get through the mill and the lathe and they're pretty versed in running both of those, then they would move on to the CNC. In the CNC, we concentrate mostly on hand programming to be able to just write our programs at the machine, set up operations. They then, after they go through both of those, then we get into the CAD/CAM software. So CAD is computer-aided drafting, and CAM is computer-aided manufacturing, machining, however you want to say it. So CAD is where you would draw the part, and then the CAM is where you would take the drawing that you made and write a program around that would then spit the G-code language out that you could put into the machine on a flash drive, and that would then tell the machine what to do. We do have dual enrollment. The dual enrollment students come in here as a junior and senior. All hours, of course, just like all the other programs that they get and accumulate in here, transfer as an adult if they were to decide to come back. And they're held to the same standard as the adult students are that have never had the class before. So it's just step by step. We also do NIMS certifications in here. NIMS is the National Institute of Metalworking Skills. So we do the NIMS standards, and each machine, if you will, or each machine group in here has a standard project that you do, and that project has to be checked on our CMM, our little equator machine here, 100%, and no dimensions can be out. So really, as a machinist in here, we're striving for perfection. Every time we make a part, it has to be within that spec that's on the print. So in the machining field, as a machinist, you're probably never going to be without a job. Somebody's always looking for a machinist. They are very sought after, and depending on where you're at, very well paid. Of course, that goes by area, and that's with any job. Depending on the demographic of the area you're in, that reflects the pay that you might make. So someone here in this county can look to make, starting out, $15, $16, $17 an hour, all the way up to been in it for 4 or 5 years, may make $25 an hour, versus, you go to like Oak Ridge, where the machining is everywhere. It seems like every corner there's a machine shop or something in Oak Ridge. They can start out anywhere between 17, 18, 19, and may top out at 50 or 60, you know, just depending on where you're at.